Hi guys, this is Adam again with Adrenaline Cycles. We got a walk around video today of a 2021 XMR Max X3. But before we jump too far into this machine, let's go ahead and get you guys to hit that like and subscribe down below so you stay up to date with everything we got going on here at the shop. Now we got that out of the way, we'll start out talking about the 2021 XMR Max X3. This is the machine I have here at home. It's a 2020 model, which they didn't change a whole lot in the 2021. Obviously the color stayed the same, which I really liked. The Manta green, that was a big selling point for me when I picked mine up. Being a Max, it obviously has the the extra seats, so you can carry your kids with you or your buddies or whatever. I mean, it's, we call them around here the limo, just because it is a long machine, but it has plenty of room so everybody can go enjoy the party, have a lot of fun. We'll start at the front talking about some of the features there, and then we'll work our way to the back of the machine. Being an XMR package, you'll get the what they call the bumper, and it holds the winch in the front. The winch is a 4,500 pound synthetic rope. It's the Can-Am brand. I've run this winch on my buggy last year, and then going into this year, still got the same machine, and the winch works fine. I mean, don't get hung up on it ain't a worn or anything else. We've had really good luck with it. I haven't broke the rope. It's pulled the big machine around with no problem, so it does really, really well. Another thing you'll notice on these is the ITP crypted mud tires. These are 30-inch tires on 14-inch rims. I really like the painted to match rim on this setup. The tires I'm not a huge fan of because I don't ride a lot of mud. So on my machine, I did swap out. I went to 15-inch tires and 35-inch, or 15-inch rim and 35-inch tires is what I went to. And the machine holds it pretty well. Don't have any issues. I haven't broke any axles or anything like that, or no divs. So, I'm doing really good there. If you guys watch some other videos in the channel, you've seen my machine out. You can look here and click the link, and you'll be able to see, click on that and check out, what this machine can do out on the trail, because we do trail ride these rigs. Mine's got a ride at 1,000 miles on it in a year. And that's pretty good for me because I do ride some of the demos and stuff, so I put a couple hundred miles on those. One good feature about the XMR, as referring to just the rim, is it's the same rim. It's the narrow, skinny rim all the way around. Now on like other models, you'll have the skinny rim in the front and the 9 in the back. So it may, you can't rotate your tires just with the rims. You have to take your tire off the rim and then switch them that way. This model, if you keep the factory rim, you don't have to do that. So if you put like a 32 Carnivore on here, you can rotate any way. It doesn't matter. The rim is the same narrow, skinny width all the way around. So that's a feature. If you're not wanting to spend some money on some rims, you do get that benefit with the XMR package. As well as, this color scheme, it's only on the XMR. Moving down the machine a little bit, we'll talk about some of the other features. The XMR will come with lower doors, which is really nice to have. I mean, that's an expense you're going to have with anything you buy. And then with the XMR, they go ahead and put that on here. Front and back doors, right from the manufacturer. One thing you will lose over like an XRS is you don't get the roof, which there's definitely some options out there. Most time for people here, they'll go with the audio roof, on something like this. Just to have the sound system, the light bars, and all that integrated for really what a 4-seat roof costs. It's pretty expensive, just in the plastic. So they upgraded the audio roof and are really pleased with those. We'll come on back to the back of the machine here, and we'll talk about some things. One thing to note from other models, this has the snorkels, obviously. But all the other X3s has the little quiet down kit they put on the tubes. This one does not have it. As you can see here, due to the snorkel kit, they're just, the regular standard tubes that leads up to the snorkels in the bed here. So you don't have, the quiet down kit that Can-Am has to help with clutch noise, which I never really had an issue with the clutch noise too much in these models anyway. And it being a 4-seater, I mean, the thing's super quiet up front when you're driving. It's not even bad in the back. I've ridden in the back of mine a couple times with the kids driving mine. So it's not bad, but it's just some information for you guys to know that it's not on these models. So if you're looking for that, it's not there. But the sound's not bad on this. Standard hitch comes on the back of this. This model comes with the high clearance rods on the bottom. They're still factory, but they got a little more bend to them, a little more clearance. And with what we've seen with them, we've took a stock one that's been bent, cut it in half, and we've had one of these that's been bent, cut it in half. And this is twice the thickness of a normal standard straight rod on like an XRS or an XDS or any of those models. The specialty model lower rod that is bent is thicker for sure and holds up. I run the factory rods on mine because, I mean, I just haven't been any, and there's, you know, I try to pay attention to where I'm going and how I'm driving so I don't bend none, and they've held up really good for me. We'll come back up and we'll talk about the shocks on these. They're the QS3. They're not the bypass, you know, like an XRS would have the canister up here. This does not. It's just, you know, the reservoir down on the shock, and you can click it, you know, 3 settings, soft, medium, and firm, and that's all you got to do to set the ride of your suspension. Typically on the back, I'll leave it on firm, and I put the front on soft, and it works out really good for me. Simple. I don't have to have any tools to do it. I can do it with my finger. If I'm riding and I notice my front's diving a little too hard on some of the stuff, you can, you know, next stop out, I'll just click it up, make it a little more firmer so it's not digging into, you know, some dirt or some water bars or anything like that. I'm talking about the seating in this thing. It's really roomy in the back. As you can see here, it's got a ton of leg room, and it's, you know, the seats in the back are leaned back like the front, so you get that really comfortable ride. I've had, you know, adults ride in the back of mine, you know, 8-9 hours a day, and just can't believe how comfortable it is. And I've had my buddies with me. They'll start out in the back, and then, you know, say halfway through the day, I'll let them drive and I'll get in the back, and they can't get over how the back and the front just feel the same, sit the same. I mean, you know, it's really good. It's not like some other models you get in and you just, you know, the back is completely different, completely set up different than the front, you know. So I think that's a really cool feature and something to note when you're looking at a 4-seater. And again, we got the, you know, the lower doors on here we've talked about. We'll jump inside and we'll show you some of the stuff here as we go into the cab of the machine. All right, guys, when we're in the cab here, you know, nice feature is the mirror comes standard in the X3. Sitting here looking at it, you do got a few switch spots, which is really nice to have. Here it looks like I got 3 up top, you know, spare leftovers. One thing you'll notice on all 2021s, you know, you just get the 1 key now, and the dash, they changed it up and made it flat where it's no longer curved. We'll power it up. When you power your machine up, your headlights will always come on. We've noticed this lately. And to turn them off, you got to press your light switch down. We've talked about this in other videos. To turn the lights off, and then to turn them back on, you just hit the down button again and it turns them back on. But anytime you start your machine up or power your machine up, the headlights will come on. I'm assuming that's some kind of safety feature that BRP's brought along to help you know, just be more visible on the trail with your lights on. You know, it's like daytime driving lights on your vehicle. Same concept here is what we think. I mean, that's the only reason I would think they would do that. But it's just a little different than the 2020 model for you guys to be aware of. The winch button's over here. I like it over here. It's easy for me to get to. The only downside is if you really wanted to move it over here for your passenger to work it, it doesn't work out. But most time I make my passenger go do all the running, and then I sit over here in the chair here and just, you know, flip the button in and out. So, you know, that's a good excuse. You can tell the guy riding with you, man, you got to get out, I'll run the switch over here. So that's a good tip there if you're riding with some people. Again, we got the multi-function gauge here, lets you choose your options in the dash. It's really straightforward. You can pick, you know, menu and tell you speed stat, engine temp. You can scroll through all that stuff, and it'll let you know. I do get a lot of questions about people, if you got a 2020 or 2021 and it has this dash and you have an engine code come up, or you got an engine light on, you can go to settings. You can go to settings and it will show you this, and then you just hit OK. And then in settings, you can scroll over. And if I had an active code, it would show, you know, I still have my engine light down here on. And then I could scroll through this and it would be in here. It would say, it wouldn't go to exit, it would say faults. And then you just hit OK. When it says faults here on your screen, you hit OK on your keypad and it will give you the code like P0231 or P206 or anything like that. It will show you that. only if the light is on. It does not keep soft codes, guys. So if it comes on and goes off, like a common belt slip issue or something like that, it will go off. Now I will tell you this, if you get like a smart lock code or engine light on, go immediately, you know, get to safe where you can stop, but go immediately and check it and see what it says, because what'll happen is if you drive it a little further, sometimes the code will get cleared out. Again, it's a soft code. It doesn't stay in the machine because it senses it's not a problem anymore. But it might let you, you know, figure out when you call the dealer, I got a code P2306. Well, the light's not on now, and we can look that code up and be like, oh, that's a speed wheel sensor on your diff. And that'll save you some time, maybe not having to bring it into the dealer, or it'll save, you know, you some time knowing what part to buy and not buying 3 different parts you don't need. So typically if you get like that and you got a light on, go ahead and check that fault code and make a note of that number, what it is exactly, because not all the times, but a lot of the times, you know, we can look it up and know what sensor is bad. Typically, if it's a diff thing, it's a wheel speed sensor. Sometimes outside of that, it might be an actual module, but it's definitely a good idea to start with like a wheel speed sensor or something. But that's a cool feature. A lot of people ask about that. How do I get codes out? I've seen that. That'll work on the big screen, and I believe it'll work on the little dash too. You just got to make sure you do it quick enough, like I said again, to have an active code. What else we want to talk about in here? The seating is just like every other X3. It'll go up or down, and then it's got, you know, sliders on all the seats so you can scoot them up or back, which I always leave mine all the way back and all the way down because I'm so tall. The green does carry on into the cab, and I love it. I mean, I'm glad to see it. A lot of people think it's too much. The only thing I will let you guys know, and you probably noticed it in some of the videos, is the glare from my full windshield off this green. So if you're watching a video, you might see we have like a hat thrown up there or a hoodie or something, and what it is, it just puts a little glare on the screen. And I'm sure you've seen it on your cars if you're driving around in your car. You know, if you got something like something on your dash, like a notebook or something in a bright color, it'll mirror off the windshield. So that's something to take note of, which, you know, it's just simple. I throw something over it. It's not really that bad noticeable until you get in certain daylights, you know, certain angle of the sun, and you can catch it. But, you know, for the overall look, it doesn't bother me that bad. That's about it, guys. Like I said, this is a 195 horsepower machine, just like all the others. RR models. One thing to know is it does have a speed limiter on it, and being a 2021 Evo and the tuners that are out there, as far as I know, as of, you know, February, there's still not a 2021 RR tune out there that they're wanting to sell, you know, especially from Evo, and that's who we like to deal with. So the speed limiter is going to be on there. I got it on my 2020 model, and to be honest, I've only hit it about 4 times. I mean, it's not that big issue. I think it's like 67 or something mile an hour. I think I hit it at the dragway down there when we was running it, and then one on a stretch from Wildcat to back to the park from a road we come out on, and then twice at Brimstone, you know, and that's it. I mean, it's not a huge deal. It just, you know, it's just like a limiter in your car. It just, you know, just doesn't go any faster. So it's not a huge deal. 67 mile an hour in one of these things is questionable at best, running 35-inch tires. You know, it's not the, you know, the greatest, you know, thing to be doing on a blacktop road, but we all know you take a trail, sometimes you'll have to run a mile or two of blacktop, and I don't like to sit on it very long, so, you know, we'll get on down the road so we can get back in the trails and not be stuck on the road, you know, with a bunch of cars. But don't let the limiter guy scare you. It's not that big an issue at all. And that's about it, guys. I think this model's sold, unfortunately, so you guys won't be able to get your hands on that here. We do have more ordered, so hopefully we'll have those in pretty soon, and then you guys can maybe get your hands on one of these. Like I said, this is my personal rig. I have one of these. You know, I'm tickled to death with it. It does really good, and the length, don't scare you, dude. I mean, it goes, it rides really good, and like I said, the videos, Josh will have some links here or down here for you guys to watch some of those videos, because you'll see it goes. Don't think for sure it won't, because I'm not a great driver. I mean, I get around and do what I need to do, but the machine makes it look a lot easier. you know, it makes it easier for you to, you know, look like a better driver. So keep that in mind. Guys, as always, ride safe, and we'll see you guys on the trail.